76 proudly presents the 515 Show with your host, John Sarver. Who's at the 515 door today?
See, that's what I like about this. That's what I enjoy so much, that we can have somebody like the caliber of our next guest coming on. I mean, she is a can of nitro and Red Bull all mixed together in a nice, warm chocolate chip cookie. Jen Beagle, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Dandy, how you feeling?
Fantastic.
Cool. All right. So now, do tell me, young woman, of all the things going on, people said that it's been kind of quiet in the Jen Beagle camp. How could this possibly be?
Well, it's winter. We're starting to pick up though here. Race season is right on, nipping at our heels.
Yeah.
So it's going to start getting pretty busy here quickly.
All right. When we say busy, I mean the point. If you've never seen Jen's work on Chick's Eye View, one of the best photographers we've ever seen do anything, especially around the race. But I mean, she does more than just drag race cars. But this woman is the female version of Lewis Carvel. This woman knows everybody. I mean,
everybody.
Yeah, well, there's very few people that you don't reckon. Jen Beagle, who is so far and few between. We've never, I don't think, ever experienced that. So, yeah, things are picking up. How are they doing for you? What's going on Top Fuel side, if anything? What's going on at the tracks?
Well, this year I've been fortunate enough to be join up with a NHRA team, it's Lex June Racing, and I've been doing a lot of their social media and their marketing and just kind of helping them build up their team and their presence here in the United States. Rex is an incredible driver. He comes from the Netherlands, and he is actually one of the most winningest drivers in Top Fuel history in the European circuit. So he basically kind of won everything there was to win in Europe, and him and his wife sold everything but the dragster and the dog, and they moved to America to pursue NHRA glory. And they're a pretty incredible team. His wife, Gerda June, is NHRA's only female crew chief right now, and we have one of the best bottom ends pit crew in the country. Her name is Becky Larson, and we're just chugging along through the season, looking for some sponsorships to just kind of help us build up and get out to some of the races. And it's been quite the adventure. It's been fun.
I mean, how did that work out for you? I mean, it's not like a whole lot of folks go, say, there's the door of Jen Beagle. Let's knock on that door, and maybe she can help us out.
Back in, I believe it was 2019, I had gone to the North Carolina, the 4-wide. And I took my camera because, it's basically an appendage of mine.
Yeah.
And I had gotten some really nice shots of Lex on the track during the 4-wide, and a couple of the neat, kind of candid pit shots. And a couple weeks after the race, I get an email from somebody in, I think it was Germany. And at first I kind of thought it was a scam, but it was actually the president of JLM Lubricants, who was his major sponsor at the time, wanting to utilize some of my material for marketing in Europe.
Yeah.
And so we kind of built that kind of relationship with, I built the relationship with them, and, you know, through them, of course, with Lex. And, you know, every time I'm at a race that Lex is at, I'll stop by, say hi. And we've just built kind of a nice little rapport, a nice little friendship. And he reached out and, you know, asked, hey, you know, do you know anyone that would be able to help out with any of this? And I was like, yeah, I mean, we could discuss it and see what you need and see if I could help out with any of it. And it just kind of went from there.
Wow. I mean, that's got to be kind of rough, because basically, how does the guy say, look, I need help getting me out out to the masses. I'm not sure how to do it. I mean, what's the first thing that you think of? I mean, how can I help this guy? What's the first thing you go, well, let's see what we can do here for you?
We've been doing a lot of just kind of making all the social media and all of his, you know, marketing unified. There's different ways of doing things here in the United States versus in Europe. So I'm kind of helping him translate into the, I guess, quote unquote, American social media platforms, and how Americans and do the social media and do the marketing, and how we kind of perceive everything and deal with things, and just getting the image out there, getting the story out there. They have an incredible story, him and his wife. And if there are two nicer people on the NHRA circuit, I have yet to meet them.
The phone just went off, and John Force just called. Okay.
Well, Force is outgoing, for sure.
We're kidding, of course. Okay.
They're just two of the most hardworking, just genuine, incredible people. And it's been an honor to be able to work with him, to associate myself and my abilities and my, you know, marketing strategies, and just to be a part of such an awesome team, such an incredible story. And, you know, God willing, we'll get, you know, some of the sponsorship and the funding that we need, and we will kick some NHRA butt.
You know, how does that work out, Jen? I mean, when you said that the difference between how the Europeans and the Americans go about, you know, putting folks on social media and stuff, how is that different?
It's just more of like kind of like a translation.
Oh, okay.
And kind of a it's hard to explain. It's kind of, we do things a lot simpler and a lot flashier, I guess. When we sat down for our first meeting, I had the opportunity to go out to Brownsburg and to, you know, tour the shop, and we sat down and kind of discussed goals and plans, and where we'd like to be, you know, 6 months, a year, 2 years from now. And I told him, you know, there's two things that he needs to remember that about Americans is that we have very short attention spans, and we need things to be pretty and flashy and attention grabbing. So we want to keep our you know, social media blasts, our email blasts. We want to keep them short, sweet, simple, and flashy. And you know, once people kind of, we bait the hook and people bite, then that's when you can, you know, go into the storyline and go into, you know, our goals and how we want to accomplish them, and how we're trying to build this team.
I mean,
but at first it just needs to be, you know, short, sweet, to the point.
I was going to say, I mean, what kind of ideas do you come up with? You just shoot a lot of pictures, or just, because it's got to be tough. I mean, a lot of people out there, you know, run Top Fuel, a lot of people, and you say it, probably you can count them all on your hand, but it's got to be tough, and especially in 2022, because really the main thrust is this, not only is get this name out there, but let's reel in some sponsors. And boy, sponsors on a top fuel team right now has got to be difficult, I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's a competitive field this year. This year's top fuel is like it's never been. We've got some great rookies. We've got Justin Ashley out again this year. We've got Alex Laughlin has really piled on a full schedule this year for his nitro team. So it's a pretty competitive field. It's no joke this year. And it's a dog eat dog world, and you just have to find the right people at the right time in the right place and hook them in and, hope for the best. Like I said, Lex is an incredible driver. He has incredible potential in this market. The proof is in the pudding. He's the most winningest top fuel driver in Europe, in funny car and in dragster.
Funny car.
Yep, he drove funny car for quite a long time, and then he suffered a very, very, very bad fire, and he almost died.
Wow.
The safety regulations in FIA are quite different than the safety regulations here in the United States, and basically, from what I understand, is they just kind of let the car burn to the ground. And
jeez.
Yep. And so after that, Lex and his wife decided that they were going to pursue Top Fuel Dragster, and he just, took over the circuit once he started.
I mean, that's got to be tough. I mean, is this kind of like a Top Fuel Ellis Island movie? Where they go, okay, we've done all we can over across the pond there, across the seas. Let's try America, crack that nut, and go from there. It's amazing that his sponsors didn't follow him over here to give him at least a boost up. But hey, he did have some sponsors follow him over. He had JLM follow him over. He had a couple other sponsors, but the sponsors that were following him over don't necessarily have a great base here in the States. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, that's got to be tough when you're trying to sell people Swedish fish that people don't necessarily eat here, and I'm just using that as an example. Yeah, it's like, boy, did you ever ask Lex? It's like, seriously, what was the key turning point? What was the time where you said, let's go to America, let's pack everything up, put everything in the Partridge Family bus, and somehow, some way make it over to America, and let's try this?
They came over, don't quote me directly on the dates. I believe it was in 2009. They came over and did kind of some exhibition stuff with NHRA in Vegas. They ran a couple races, and then they left the car here, came back the following year, ran in Pomona, I believe it was, and they were hooked. They knew that they had to come back and pursue NHRA full time.
Wow!
So when they got back to Europe, they started their planning and they started their selling everything and applying for their green cards. And in 2013, they made the big move and came on over here.
Wow, and they've been racing ever since, Top Fuel?
They came over, and they took them a couple years to get kind of settled and established as it would anybody.
Yeah.
And then they started. I think they ran their first 2017 was their first. 18. So they started running in 18, and they did quite a few races in 18, and then 19 they did a couple more with their JLM sponsor, and then COVID happened.
Wow.
And we all know the story. We all know.
Yeah, we've heard many.
What COVID did for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, because now it's like not only starting, but starting over again to start over again. Well, and I'm thinking they don't have one of those. Everybody thinks of the Top Fuel NHRA teams as having those big, huge trucks, and the stackers and 15 people running around and one guy that does nothing but put air in tires and stuff like that. I'm not thinking that's going on with this team, is it?
I mean, we have a big stacker and hauler, just like every other team. I mean, you need your tools, you need your parts and pieces, you need your whole system to go with you. So we don't differ in that way. We do, as far as crew goes, we do have a couple permanent crew. Like I said, Becky Larson, she does our bottom end, and she's phenomenal. She's out of California, and she's another incredible come to America story. She's actually from, I don't want to mess this up, New Zealand.
Okay.
And she moved from New Zealand to pursue working on Top Fuel teams. She's based in California right now. She works on a couple Nostalgia Funny Car teams out in where is it? The March Meet, where they have March Meet. Famoso. And she's one of our key crew members for Lex. And then, of course, his wife, who's she's my hero. She is just the baddest woman you'll ever meet in Top Fuel. She will thrash with all the best of them and probably show some of them up in the pits.
It's amazing. These people definitely need you because, man, I'm hearing an incredible amount of storylines, just not one, 2, 3, 4. I mean, you got somebody from New Zealand coming all this way, not necessarily somebody go, gee, I wish I could work on Bottom End of Engines. I think I will go to a whole different country. I mean, what a story that is.
She's the tiniest little thing, too. She's every bit of, I think, 5 feet. We actually have step stools around the pits so that she can step up and get into some of the toolboxes. But I'll tell you what, she'll put some of those other crew members in NHRA to shame.
Yeah, because
she is
go ahead.
A hard worker. She is brilliant, and she knows her stuff.
But does she travel? Did you say she's in California, or does she travel with the team?
Yep. She's in California, but she travels with us when we have a race. She's there. So we were just down in Gainesville, and she came out and worked with the team in Gainesville.
Wow! Yay, Gainesville! I hope you had your umbrella.
Yeah. It was definitely a different race for sure.
Yeah, I mean, man, did you see, though, how many people were in the stands?
Yeah, it was. People are excited to have it back.
Amen, brother. Yeah, man, and that's why. Did you get a chance to go down there, or were you hanging up here watching it?
Yeah, I was hanging up here on this one because the day job kept me up
that
here.
That damn thing.
The bill-paying job.
Yeah, the one where you're CEO of General Motors. Well, I hope that's still going well for you.
It's going.
Good. I mean, how much are you going to travel around? Because the reason why Jen Beagle of CKiW Photography she knows everybody is because she's everywhere. And if she's not everywhere, they call her up and say, hop on the plane and be here. I mean, when are you going to start? I mean, now that it's still March, but, when does your schedule, your personal stuff get going?
I guess it's all depending. There's a lot of stuff up in the air for myself and the CKiW. I'm, full force ahead with NHRAs, my team, doing everything I can to help them out, build them up, and get them going. But I
mean, can you do that? Can you do that remotely, Jen? I mean, can you do that like from here as opposed to having to travel around every single race with them?
Yeah, so the last race, I kind of worked it out. One of the wives of our crew, one of our crew members, would sending me content all weekend. She would send me pictures and videos, and I have an HRA TV, so I would watch it. I watched the whole race live and kept up with everything, and was able to run all of our social media and run all of our stuff remotely for that race.
Go technology, go!
Amen. It was great. We do have a couple races that we do know that we're going to be going to for sure, that I know for sure that I'll be traveling with the team. One of those is Bristol, which is by far one of my favorite tracks I've ever been to. It's just so beautiful, and I told Lex, I said, if that's something that we're definitely going to be going to, count me in. I am on the rig.
Where is this track at?
In Tennessee.
Wow.
Bristol, Tennessee. Yeah, that's in June, I believe. It's called the Thunder Valley Nationals, and it's going to be in June this year, the 17th through the 19th.
Man, so
that's going to be.
Oh, go ahead.
It's going to be a fun race. It's a beautiful track. Someone looked at a couple mountains and said, let's blow a hole right here and make a track. And it's literally in between two mountains. It's beautiful.
Yeah, they were showing some of that stuff from the 60s, and it has like a really weird, who thought of this? Who saw this and said, yeah, let's and you're right, because it's nothing but greenery on both sides. The turnoff lane is a little weird,
stunning.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the track at the right angle, it looks like there is no turnoff. There is no shut down area. Like, it just goes straight into the mountains.
Yeah, I mean, it's phenomenal to see that. And again, when you saw it when it was just starting, it's you're right. You're baffled of who found. It was like Leif Erikson looked over it and said, "There, I see a to a little area where it looks like we could put a drag strip. Great idea. How are we going to get supplies over here? Don't worry about that. I mean,
right.
Where do you park? But still, it's been an event that's been going on forever.
Mhm. Yep, and working up to our vacation, that I've been out there once last year, and building up to us going there, everybody that we spoke to was like, don't be proud. Don't try to walk the hill. Take the golf carts. They have the golf carts for a reason. Like, just take the golf carts. And they have an amazing golf cart system out there where they will pick you up and take you right to where you need to go. And it was pretty phenomenal. It's a pretty phenomenal track.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's the same or the same folks that owned it for a very long time now, hasn't it been?
Yep. They also own, I believe, ZMAX Dragway and I know they own 3. I can't remember what the other one is. But I've been out to ZMAX. It's a beautiful dragway as well. They maintain and it's the customer service and it's just they're clean, they're beautiful, they're all top to bottom. They're just beautiful tracks, and we've had great experiences at them.
You know what? Aesthetically speaking, Jen, what's your top 3 tracks?
Aesthetically speaking?
Yeah.
I mean,
the ones
Bristol's number 1.
Really?
Hands down. I mean, it's beautiful. We were there last year, and it was during the fall, and it was it's beautiful. There's no words. I mean, you look at pictures, and you would think that the place was, CGI.
Wow.
Yeah, I love Bristol aesthetically. Other tracks aesthetically, I would say Norwalk. Norwalk's up there. It's a beautiful track. The Baders do a fantastic job with maintaining that track and keeping that track as beautiful as it is. And then I would say Route 66, but we don't have that track anymore.
Wow.
Joliet. So,
all right, so that doesn't qualify, so now you got one more to fit in.
Oh, man. Put me on the spot.
It's what we do.
Let's see. I think not that I've ever been to it, but in Washington, where they do the Northwest Nationals.
Wow. Yeah, you would think that'd be
a beautiful track.
Oh, yeah. But now, if you went on the other side of it and said, hey, look, pack the Doritos, get the Mountain Dew ready, we're hopping into the, Gremlin, and we're going to these 3 tracks that are just the most fun tracks to go to.
Yeah, I would say Bristol, Norwalk, and Indy. Indy is the most. It's Indy. It's right there by Nitro Alley, and it's the track that it all kind of roots from. And again, it's a beautiful track. It's well maintained. It's in a beautiful location, and they put on great events as well.
Isn't it funny that everybody you talk to, when you say break down Indy for somebody that has never been there before, because it does have the reputation that they go, well, it's Indy.
Right.
Right. What more do you want me to say? It's almost like people that went to PRI. Oh, you're going to have a great time. You're going to have a great time. Why?
Well, right, it's PRI. Like, what do you know? Where don't you get it? PRI.
Yeah, it's cool if you've been there before, but if you've never been there before, it's like, well, all right, well, that just clarified that. It's PRI. You going this year?
Yes, I'm going to be going there with the team.
Yeah, I would think that of all places to shake hands and stuff, that would be, whew, hello.
Amen.
Hello, VP. Hello, Lucas Oil. Just happened to be here at your place. Have a couple of cases over there. Because who would you be targeting for this Top Fuel team as sponsors besides anybody, which is normally the first answer? But, if you had your druthers, it's PRI.
Right now, we're really focusing on For the 2022 season, we do want to get out there. We want to get on the track. We want to get, lay some rubber down, get our name out there, show everybody what we're made of. And we're really focusing on just getting our image out there and showing people what we're made of and what we can do. And we're targeting, a couple local places for here and there for, local races, in Texas or Vegas or kind of regionally. And then next year, once we've really got our name out there, gotten quite a few races under our belt, then we're going to start really going, okay, guys.
Yeah.
Where is everybody?
This almost, it sounds like it's like made for morning TV, local morning TV, like those news shows, god awful, that we never get a chance to go see. But I mean, like those Wake Up Detroit kind of things, because really, what a story. Coming over here, being super successful, coming over here, your wife is the only female crew chief in the NHRA. That alone is a movie waiting to happen. Plus they have this woman out in California via New Zealand, and this here, because clearly, here, friends, we won't tell you anything you probably don't know, but to run, even if you ran a Pinto full time, like in Sportsman, it ain't cheap. And it ain't cheap. No. The higher you go and the highest you can go is Top Fuel NHRA. So unless these folks have incredibly deep pockets that they have an ATM in their backyard, Yeah,
and that's another incredible thing about Lex and Gerda is they don't have an ATM in their backyard. They work Monday through Friday just like you and me. They both have, American blue-collar jobs, and they put every penny they have and every, scraping that they can into pursuing this dream. Lex drives a big rig. He drives a hauler during the week doing, no deliveries. And Gerda works with a parts company, and she works kind of with doing stuff with like their commercial accounts and stuff. So they both have very demanding jobs. Sometimes Lex is out 10, 12, 14 hours a day driving truck, and then on the weekends pack up and head out to wherever the next race is, which is, again, another just incredible part of their story. Who doesn't in the race world identify with that? Working your Monday through Friday job so that you can go to the racetrack and burn your check away Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, because unless they live in the rig, and again, it's no joke, friends, there's top fuelers are $1 million enterprises. I mean, you see some of the top guys, that they only do is their only gig is to drive, and they sleep in the stacker while everybody thrashes around, and it's like, showtime, dude. Okay. And then you come out where these people are wrenching, doing everything, cheap bottle washers. I mean, if that's not the American spirit, I'm not terrifically sure what is. Now...
And that, that's our team motto, and our team, it's never quit. And if there's anybody that I have ever met in this world that has that never quit drive, it is Lex.
Whew.
Because he will work a 10 to 12-hour day, and then he will come home and he will, answer those emails and reach out to those, potential sponsors and, just do everything that he can to continue racing, to continue his dream.
Wow, off the hotline here at CKiW76.com, where you can type in there and we'll read them if you got any questions for Jen Beagle of Chick's Eye View. And the one that just came across real fast, and it's pretty simple, but you said that they came from overside over there. Exactly what country were they from? Like Sweden or something? Finland? Norway? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, it's only because Sweden is such a hot spot for drag racing. I mean, huge. And you think, in one way you go, all right, why would you, if you're a big fish over there, why would you come over here and go through all this stuff? And again, tell me this isn't some kind of Hallmark movie waiting to happen. All we need to have now is to have Lex go in the Final Four at any event. Get the name, get the view, because I'm sure that how cool is Fox with them? Has anybody knocked on their door yet?
Well, Fox, they're our broadcaster, so they don't necessarily sponsor.
No, not necessarily sponsored, but I mean, get that story. What a story. I mean, every broadcaster, and especially something like that, that's a human interest story that it's gifted for them. Normally, you have to dig around and find them all. I mean, and that's why I'm thinking with Fox when they do the drag racing, and considering they really kind of, in our estimation, look at a lot of top fuelers and funny cars and a smattering of whatever, you have a story sitting right there. Who wouldn't, root for Lex?
And NHRA has covered their story. NHRA did a great piece on Gerda last year when she was kind of officially announced as the co-crew chief and being the only female in NHRA. They did a great little piece on her. So there has been coverage. It's just, like I said, this year is it's a dog-eat-dog world this year.
Yeah, baby. Every year. So are we going to see Lex T-shirts coming up soon and Lex bumper stickers coming up soon?
Oh, we already have all that stuff available on the website, lexjunracing.com.
Funny how he just happened to ask you that. Okay.
Yep. We have all kinds of fun swag. Like I said, we're running some monthly promotions on our social medias too. So if you keep up on those, we're giving out stuff. This last month we gave out a free T-shirt and a hero card that was signed by Lex. I believe our next one we're going to be doing a piston head signed by Lex.
Wow.
And a hero card. So yeah, we do some fun things, and we have all of our great swag already up and available to whoever's interested.
Cool. I mean, I guess if you're a big sponsor, you get to have dinner with Lex.
Yeah, I mean, we do offer for sponsors. We do offer hospitality options.
That's the Lex part of the show. Now the CKiW part of the show. What's going on, kid?
Well, it's I just living the dream. I got to cover Ottawa this last couple weekends ago here in Detroit, and that was phenomenal. And I actually just by happenstance was offered, asked to do personal pictures for the Riddler winner.
Nice.
Which was just mind-blowing. It was just kind of random. The daughter approached me. I was taking pictures, and she said, who do you shoot for? And I said, me, myself, and I. And she said, would you, if we paid you, would you mind saying afterwards and taking pictures for us of the team, the build team, and do some family pictures. And so I got that opportunity, which was phenomenal. And then I think I'll be going, next weekend after next, out to Cleveland to cover that one as well, which is super one of my favorites. Such a great little location that it's at, and it's it's much different than the Detroit show.
Because
it's all one floor. It's huge. There's a huge Ferris wheel in the middle of the building. They have airplanes in there. It's a completely different show.
how is that Autorama if it's got airplanes and Ferris wheels?
Yeah, it's fun. And then they have it's called the Asylum, which is basically the basement of Detroit. But it's the Cleveland Virgin, which is awesome.
I mean, so what do they have there? I mean, the same thing. You know, we should almost go backward. What was your thoughts of this year's Autorama in Detroit?
It was nice to be back. It was nice to see everyone's faces and to see kind of what everyone's been doing over the last 2 years. It was really well put together this year, I think. I think that with having had 2 years to build, some of the Great Eight could have been a little greater. But really, we don't have control over who submits what. But it was nice to be back. It was refreshing to be back. It was, it was Autorama. And we all missed it dearly.
Yeah, it seems like people were holding back. Are we going to have it, not going to have it, going to have it, not going to have it? And, because so many times we had a couple of false starts because everything that was going on in the world, and we understand the reason why. And then this year, when it was a go, it's kind of like Detroit Autorama is the car version of spring training. You get out there and you see the cars. You go, yeah, you get the fever going. And Jenn's absolutely right. You meet the people that run a certain car or run a certain track or whatever, and it's like one big class reunion. And I use that in kind of a quote. Yeah,
it really is. It's kind of the kickoff for the race season. It's the kickoff for the car show season. It's really everybody knows everybody for the most part, and if you don't know somebody, you know somebody who knows them. And it's just you meet some great people and you hear some incredible stories and you learn just so much about anything in the custom car category, I guess, from lowriders to rat rods to we call the no touch cars, which are the the Great Eights and the couple $1 million builds. Talking to everybody from every background, it's just incredible.
It is.
This year they had this gentleman had a Volkswagen set up. Display, and it was a little VW Bug, and it was orange and white. And if you went to the Detroit Autorama, you couldn't miss it.
Yeah, because he was hauling a bike and stuff. It was kind of interesting.
It was beautiful, and I got to talk to him. The gentleman's name is Dwayne, who owns the display. There was 47 Volkswagens in the display, and they were all identical, and they went from the size of your pinky all the way up to the main Volkswagen. But what was really cool, it was really, again, just, meeting people, talking to people, just being inspired. The gentleman, he was one of the most humble people you'll ever meet. Chip Foose came up and looked at his car and looked at his display and was like, this is incredible. And he didn't even realize who Chip Foose was. And, he's like, I don't belong here with all these beautiful cars. And the display itself, though, had an incredible story where the display was about his family.
Wow.
The little tricycle that was on top of the main Volkswagen.
Yeah, right, yeah.
That was his father's tricycle when his father was a child.
Wow.
There was a little car seat and some little saddle shoes sitting inside the main vehicle, and those were his mother's. That was his mother's car seat. One of the Volkswagens that was displayed inside the trunk of the main Volkswagen, that Volkswagen was his daughter's American Girl dolls Volkswagen when she was growing up.
I mean, didn't this guy win an award or something? I mean, didn't he win?
He won 3.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
And all 3 of them were so well deserved.
Yeah, I mean, it was something different. I mean, it kind of, the first time you looked at it, you kind of looked at it as kind of Dr. Seuss's kind of look, because it was so different from, the Riddler Award winner and all that stuff. But now that you understood the background and everything else that went on it, it's really too bad that they didn't put, he won 3, but they should have put him closer up front,
I'm telling you, he was actually invited. I guess the curator of the Detroit Autorama had seen his display at a car show over the summer, and literally drove to the car show just to invite him to Autorama to put his display out, because it's so incredible. And I was there all 3 days, and I passed that display probably a dozen times, and every single time you go by it and look at it, you see something different. You see something unique. You see something just.
And how many CKiW views?
Detail and.
How many pictures you take?
Quite a few.
And where are they at right now?
Quite a few. I'm sorry?
And where are they at right now?
I offered them to Dwayne to post. So I kind of let him, take them and live on his, cloud 9 for a while, and they'll be coming up. I'll be getting them posted.
Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, you posting any on your site?
Yeah, I posted quite a bit from Autorama. I was actually there helping out with the Lake Street Cruise-In, which is the little car show that my town here in South Lyon, Michigan does. I'm their photographer and their kind of media person, and so I was out there doing, media and doing coverage for them. So I've posted a bunch of their stuff. Of the 6 cars that we brought, 5 of them brought home trophies. Which was pretty exciting for our group.
Look at Lewis's card. That thing definitely, that Oldsmobile definitely deserved some. Whee!
Yeah, so I'll tell you a fun backstory. He had this beautiful Chevy Nova 2 that he just custom to the nines, and it was cherry red, and it was just, I loved her. I loved her, and he sold her. And I was so angry with Lewis. And I was like, you are just trying to break my heart, Lewis. And he, almost on a Riddler level, kept this build a secret. Not very many people out there in his life, in our little circle of friends and group, and not a lot of us knew what he was doing. And Autorama was his, ta-da! And I forgave him for selling the Nova.
He didn't give you first rights of refusal?
Yeah, no, not for the Nova. But that's okay, because that Plymouth, it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was flawless. I mean, it really was.
It was truly flawless.
I mean, he was working the room too, but I mean, Lewis, and he's coming up May 17th here on CK on the 515. But he knows. I mean, he is really the mayor of everywhere. He knows everybody. He's done everything, seen everybody. I mean, he is just the compadre of yourself. But now, do you get first shot at the Oldsmobile?
Yeah, I told him that we would officially break up if he ever told that. I said, I will leave you. But you know what? In the car show, especially in the car show world, that's what it's about. It's about, pouring your heart and soul into something,
Yep.
building, you know, whatever it is that's in your head, and then giving it a good home and moving on to the next thing, moving on to the next project. That's what these guys love. That's why Autorama's been around for 69 years. That's why, you know, there's, I think a dozen Autorama locations in the circuit. It's because it's an ever evolving, ever growing aspect of the car world.
Yeah, it's interesting when you see the pictures of years gone past at Autorama when, like, vans were a real big thing in the 70s and the real big deal customs of the, like, early 60s. It was a unique thing to go to. If you're a gearhead, especially around Detroit, opening day, the Detroit Tigers, because it's the only time that they got a winning record lately, and Autorama are the two spring events that you never want to miss. You can tell if you're a true Detroiter, if you know Metro Detroiter, if you know both of those. But now, talking about both of us, in the few minutes remaining, are you going to be at 42 this year?
Oh, definitely. The Don Moyer, who does 42, or does the Rock and Race, is also the one who facilitates the asylum at the Cleveland Autorama. So, you know, I tend to go to most of the events that he curates and he takes care of. So, but with the last few minutes we have, I really like.
Go ahead.
Speaking of Autorama and displays and you know, up and comings, Milan Dragway.
Yep. What
We're
more
back.
needs to be said?
I mean,
Whee!
I'm just ecstatic out of my mind.
Yeah.
Milan is really the birthplace of a chick's eye view. That's where I started. I would just show up and take pictures, and that's kind of how I've grown, is through Milan. And first of all, their display, I think they had 20-something cars.
Yeah, but
I mean, it was phenomenal.
Even
they just went all out.
The whole look, and we were talking to Harold and Perry about that too. The whole thing with that, you know, stand where Pam was behind, and just the way they had the graphics, perfect.
Yeah, it was perfection. And it was definitely a, hey, we're back and we're not messing around, and y'all just wait and see. it was a statement. I feel like, I won't name names, but there was some other tracks there that were just kind of like, oh, well, I guess, like, we're here. There was just no one could hold a light to that, to what they came out with and what they, you know, showed. It was phenomenal. And they already have a full schedule this year.
Yeah.
Which is, again, just great. Like I said, I'm beyond ecstatic. I got to finally meet Harold and Perry, and they are just
nice
wonderful
folks.
people.
Yeah.
And their wives as well. Pam, I got to speak with for quite a while, which is Perry's wife, and she's an absolute doll. And I'm excited. They're doing some great things, and they have some great, you know, stuff in the works, and I'm definitely keeping an eye on it, and
they're an NHRA track. Gee, if you only knew somebody with a fueler.
I know, right? Gosh. They're going to be sanctioning with NHRA, which is really, really exciting.
Yeah.
I think it's going to take a lot of work, but if there's anyone that has it in them, it's Harold and Perry. I mean, no two better gearheads to own that place.
All right, so
and they just.
Where can people find you? I mean, if for the people that are listening to it around the world, or it's the very first time that they heard you speak, and because they've seen all your phenomenal photos, but they never heard you, where can they find you on Facebook and the website?
It's facebook.com/CKiW. And all my work is kind of being focused with Flex June racing right now, so that's kind of my main focus. I am talking kind of with Harold and Terry and Pam, and we might be doing some partnering and getting together. So I might be doing a little bit of who knows what with the track there to help kind of build that up. And really, there's a lot of hype already with Milan.
Yeah.
I don't know that they need any help building the hype, but
God, I'm thinking I'm hearing like an application being filled out right now. Okay.
Yeah, it's it's exciting.
Yeah, it is.
It's our local track, and it's like I said, it's where I met all the people that I know, and it's going to be a good race season, and then of course, Dave and I, my boyfriend and I, have our own racing that we do with our Chevy.
Is he going to be out this year?
409. So we have. I'm sorry.
Is he going to be out this year? I thought that was kind of like a maybe. Oh,
we
really?
have a full schedule this year on top of everything.
Really? Where's he going?
We're going to be going to Union Grove for Labor Day and Memorial Day, like we do every year. We're going to be doing Milan. We're going to be going out to Milan with the Nostalgia Superstock Club that we run with. We're going to be doing quite a few. We unfortunately are not going to be doing Rock and Race, but we are going to be doing Blue Suede Cruise and Pontiac Nationals.
Wow. Okay. How do you do Pontiac Nationals?
Because Nostalgia Superstock, the club that we run with, has been invited to do kind of an exhibition. And we've got a lot of Pontiacs in our group, so in the Nostalgia Superstock group. So they were just kind of like, bring them all.
Wow. Okay. And are you guys going to be at the Milan at the Nostalgia Nats in September?
Yes, sir. We will definitely. The Nostalgia Superstock is going to be there, so we're 100% planning on being there.
Yeah, I mean, that event is just gaining momentum like no tomorrow. That thing's going to be huge for the nostalgia side. But,
for the nostalgia world, absolutely.
Yeah, but even our world, it comes to an end. Thanks, Jen.
Absolutely. Hey, no problem.
Always good touching base with you.
Me.
Oh, yeah. It's, you see, go to her Facebook page, go to her webpage, because take a look at the face that comes with this voice that you just heard. She's everywhere. I mean, everywhere. And if she's not everywhere, she's coming to be everywhere. An excellent person to talk to. And the folks at Autorama weren't wrong. If you want to grab a really good photographer that does this stuff, and horses, by the way. Are we still doing that?
Yeah. I'm still working with, I'm actually working with two great organizations right now. It's a Farmyard Rescue, which is out of Milan, and then Serenity Oaks Equine Sanctuary, which is out of Northville.
There you go. Tell me this.
I'm working with them and doing, setting up some fundraisers and some fun things with them and the horses and animals. So
this woman never sleeps. She never ever sleeps. She's got all these jobs, and then she's got all these places. It's kind of like back in the old 60s Batgirl thing, where by day and then whoosh, by night, she's, this total other entity. You'll see her. As a matter of fact, she'll be posting more stuff up as the summer goes along. It's not a summer at a drag strip if you don't see anything from Jen Beagle. It really isn't. Jen, thanks an awful lot.
Thank you so much. I will I'll see you at the racetrack.
We'll see you at the racetrack. Bye now.
Bye.
I mean, she is just that fun. She has a ball of energy anywhere that you see her. And it's kind of like, I don't know if you know these kind of people in your lifetime, but there's always something swirling around. And there's something that she does. And she is as pleasant as you heard her here as she is on the track. Sometimes, normally, folks get a little bit, I don't know, a little bit into themselves or whoever they think they are kind of thing. But she's not. Absolute. Always glad to have her on with us. Talking about have her on. We ran way over. We know we did. We'll make it up on the other side. And the Detroit Sports Authority is coming up here live at 7 o'clock. If you love Detroit sports as much as they do, you'll love the Detroit Sports Authorities here live from Studio B.